Well, I'm here talking to Stella Voaden, who's the families and children's worker at Christ Church in Nailsworth, down in Gloucestershire. Good to see you, Stella. Now, we say you're the families and children's worker, but can you tell me about the Umbrella Coffee Club?
The Umbrella Coffee Club came out of the idea that the government said that the best way to meet people was to stay outside to keep everybody safe. And I was sat one day going, Lord, how can we meet people that is safe and, could do something community-wise as well? And I saw this picture of an umbrella, most amazing, bright, multicolored umbrella. And I went, oh, what's that about? And I was driving back home because I was at church then, and suddenly saw the tables that Hobbs the baker had put outside. And I went, oh, that'd be perfect. So on the Thursday, I went to Hobbs and I went, how do you fancy a mad moment? And so I explained to the manager what I would wanted to do. Could I have one of their tables every Thursday morning to allow God to send people to us that might just need a conversation, etc., etc., etc. And much to my amazing, they went, what a great idea. Yeah, we'll back you on that one. We're not going to just give you one, we'll give you 2 tables. And we'll keep them for you until you arrive, and we'll put them out when you arrive, and then you can carry on.
Wow.
So that's where it was born.
So what happens at the Umbrella Coffee Club then?
So every Thursday, when we're allowed to, I usually arrive early, they get the tables out, I get my coffee, and then I sit for about half an hour and pray. And I pray for Nailsworth, and I pray for the Lord to send who he wants to come. So to begin with, it was a lot of the church members because, church members needed a place to come and reconnect. But it's astonishing how many people have a joke with you when you've got a bright red umbrella and you're sat in the pouring rain, drinking your coffee. And it enabled me to go, well, this is the Umbrella Coffee Club. This is part of Christ Church. We're doing it in God's name. And I just love doing mad things. So it created this sort of understanding. But the last one before lockdown again, this guy just suddenly appeared in front of me and went, are you Stella? And I went, well, yes, I am. And he said, I'd heard that something goes on here and I just need to be with somebody and I just need to sit for a minute and chat with somebody. So he's got his bacon sandwich and his coffee. And for an hour and a half, he just spoke to me about what was going on in his life and his extended family. And I just sat there and went, me of little faith who thought that there was nobody coming that day suddenly had the most incredible encounter in Jesus's name. And I just sat there after when he went and just went, oh.
Yeah. But it's not just the Umbrella Coffee Club where you do this sort of thing, is it? You found another way of getting into conversation in lockdown. What is it called? Church on the Steps.
Yeah, Church on the Steps started because the other thing the government, after the first lockdown, allowed us to do was to do individual private prayer. So we opened for private prayer. But what I found myself doing is actually sitting on the church step a lot of the times with the volunteer that was with me that day. I started being slightly rude to people and slightly cheeky as I shouted hello or, and of course this caused them to go, there's somebody on the church steps. Oh, that's unusual. And actually somebody said that to me. She went, oh, you do something here then? And I went, work. So I got known as being there and my volunteers being known. And we started over the weeks noticing that certain people walk past us at the same time almost every Wednesday. So we started building relationships up. And it's just become a connection again. People are desperate for connections. So it was just about being real and being accessible in what is a tough time for everybody. And that very simple way of just sitting there saying, hello, I've noticed you. And sitting on the church steps and they go, what happens there? You're able then to say, well, who I am, this is Christ Church. We are open, we are alive. And it might just be that it sparks that moment in their head that goes, maybe I just need to go and find out about this. Yeah. Why is she sitting on these church steps or sitting in the rain in the centre of Nailsworth? And what the question mark that it rises in people, whether or not they sit with me or not, might just be the moment where they'll go, well, maybe I need to go and find out about this Jesus.
That's amazing. And of course, at this time, a lot of churches aren't meeting. And I think we should say you're not doing the Umbrella Club or the Church Steps ministry while we're in national lockdown. But while churches are longing to get back to opening up their buildings and inviting people in, strikes me that your first desire is to get back to going out and being out there with people.
Yes, I think I would encourage any church, whether or not you're a membership of 10 or a membership of 100s. There is something about walking your streets that are in front of you and using these and these. And if you walk with a heart that says, Lord, where could we?